So without further ado, we're gonna get into our career chat guest of the day. It is none other than Miss LaChrisha Brown. Miss LaChrisha, if you could kind of start from the beginning and kind of let us know how you got entwined with both being a classroom teacher, because she also teaches early childhood education in a few different capacities, and balances being a working professional actor all at the same time. If you could kind of give us the beginning of how you got started in both those industries and then lead that into how they're entwined and how you balance them now.
It's interesting because the way that I got started is not, I grew up around the world because my father was in the military. The first couple of years of my life, I grew up in Germany, Baumholder, Germany. And when we moved back to the States, I had a really hard time integrating with everyone. So I just remember always being to myself a lot and crying a lot and being kind of classified as the classroom crybaby. But that same teacher, her name was Misty Williams, I'll never forget her. When the Christmas play came around, the Nutcracker, they were asking who could be the lead of the play. And she was like, I think LaChrisha could be the lead of the play. Maybe because I was so dramatic, I guess. But that's when I discovered my actual love for theater. And I was 7 years old then. And I remember learning my lines for the first time and being like, oh, I could do this forever. And I guess I meant it because it's never left me. Professionally, I got started in school. I think I have to say that. I got started in like after school programs where I was always doing a show. In terms of teaching, it was the same thing. I started teaching also in college, just because I always loved people, but I always loved younger people. And since I actually got my professional studies in theater, it just always coincided. I was always working with young people.
Give us some case in point examples of how you were able to figure out and decide that you were walking in the right direction. Because my overarching goal with these career chat sessions is that you are lovely young ladies who were looking to, give any type of positive energy and guidance in the career space. My goal for you all is to really love what you do, because then the doors continue to open. And I think that anybody who pursues creative or just passion, filled careers, they have some type of a similar background story of how when they really started getting in alignment with what was calling them internally, that's when things started to change. And so that is my wish, my hope, my prayer for all of you all. And so Mr. LaChrisha, if you could just help us understand what those aha moments, as Oprah likes to call it, what those breadcrumbs were for you, so maybe our young girls will be able to, think about what that looks like for themselves.
Sure. I think if you're honest with, I think there's fear around actually pursuing what you like to do. Because sometimes we think, and I think we had examples of when you love something, like when you love to sing or when you love to sculpt or draw, that people tell you, oh, that's not economically stable for you to focus your energy in those spaces. But I realized that if I don't focus my energy in those spaces, I could still figure out, like, maybe I need to do a little extra over here, or there. But if I'm not honest with who I am and what I have to offer, then I'm out of alignment. That's the best way I can frame that. If I'm out of alignment when I'm not truly being my authentic self. And I need to be that in every area, in my personal life, in my career.
Okay, let's get into some of these questions from the chat. Let's see. Jasmine says, what fears have you had to fight through in order to start your creative career journey? Ooh, yes.
There's always that question, like, am I good enough? Like, will people want what I'm pushing? Like what I'm dishing out, will they actually feel it? And you know what? Is it Jasmine? Jasmine asked me that question?
Yes.
Jasmine, that's a practice every day. I started realizing, and I think as you keep going and creating, that it really is not about creating content to please people. and creating content, hoping for a like, hoping for an applause. My focus now is creating content that I like. And if I like it, I believe like there's somebody else that's gonna like it. And I focus on doing the best work that I can do. And when you do great work, it speaks for itself. So I think it's always like staying on top of myself about mindset, like you said just now, and perspective. You know, like if you're working in any capacity of your life to please people, I think I think I'll be miserable because I'll never be able to please everybody. There's always going to be a critic. I'm always going to have something like I feel like I'm working on. I'm always going to be perfectly imperfect. So I think always reminding myself to just stay human and allow myself even to fail in front of people, which I hate. To know that I can still win while I'm practicing, and I can't actually succeed if I don't. Like, you know, if I don't have areas to grow. So those are my fears. My biggest fear is failing in front of people. But I've done it several times. It's documented. And it's only made my life better. People still rock with me, but most importantly, like I have been able to maintain like a like of myself. I rock with myself.